Get the recording started. Well, hello, everyone. I'm Leslie Hassler. Welcome to the Double Your Business in 90 Days show. We are going to be talking about some fun stuff here. But as always, we're here Monday on afternoons at 1:30 on Blab. So if you're listening to us on iTunes, you can head over to yourbizrules.com/blab. It'll direct you to the show and you can subscribe so you can join us live. And there's lots of benefits to joining us live. But as always, I am a business coach. And one of the things, Stella will love this, that I do is I help women entrepreneurs really become the hero in their own business by finding more freedoms to say yes. Now, yes can be to a bazillion things in our business, but you really have to have that healthy business that's generating profits for you in order for you to say yes. So that's what I help with. I help you grow your business in a way that's about simplicity, ease, and profitability, because we all need that. But let me introduce you to my guest, I almost said Dr. Stella Orange. How funny is that? I was thinking, Stella, about you this morning, and I was like, well, if I'm Obi-Wan, then Stella is Yoda. So just to kind of share, but let me tell you a little bit about Stella. Stella Orange is the founder and creative director at StellaOrange.com. So if you haven't checked that site out, you need to, because what you're going to find is she's a little bit different than a lot of people out there. But she owns an agency that really helps people do their best work of getting their writing projects done faster, bolder, and more profitably. See, we share that in common. As a teacher, Stella shows her students how to nail their money-making message. Who doesn't want that? And find their voice so that they can move their audience to action with quirky and human touch. I was challenged this weekend, Stella, that I'm not showing enough of my quirkiness, so we can talk about that. But Stella's clients include billion-dollar companies, New York Times best-selling authors, one-person businesses. From stem to stern, you'll find that her clients really do transcend industries and disciplines. So if you connect with Stella doing hair, don't think it's only for one industry or next. She really is a master that helps you get into that message. But you can find out more about Stella. She's currently in Cincinnati, about to move to Buffalo, New York? Yep. Somewhere? Okay. But you can find out about her writing labs, the production labs, and events at StellaOrange.com. So Stella, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's so awesome to be here with you, Leslie, and everyone else. Hello.
I know. It's so exciting to see you live. I was with Stella, it feels like years ago in April. But that's the way time works in my world. I know you're a pretty busy bunny too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So we're going to be talking about a few things, and the title talks about this epic story, and I'm going to get into that. But I really want to touch in on what I feel like a thread or a movement or a trend that I'm seeing in marketing with a lot of businesses that have online businesses. That is just getting fed up with this whole scarcity mindset when it comes to marketing. And I know what led me to you was because promos out there talking about higher figures. And a lot of times, not attracting the right client is typically because of your message, not always because of the medium or the mode that's out there. So I want to talk a little bit about what you see entrepreneurs really struggling with right now when it comes to finding that money-making message, as you say.
Cool. So first of all, just to ground the conversation in the perspective that I bring to it. And, I've been doing this work for going on 7 years now and I got my start as a copywriter for business owners and specifically for online businesses. So what that means is I'm not doing any sort of legal copywriting. I'm doing the writing of ad or marketing copy for online business owners, as you mentioned, in a whole range of industries. Anything from, I've got naturopaths, I've worked with MDs, I've worked with folks that are helping folks have better sex lives, lose weight, sales trainers, business coaches. I work for a woman down in Australia who is teaching people how to read tarot cards and running a very profitable business doing that. And so the perspective that I bring to the table is really that of how do you take your genuine personality, who you actually are when you're with people in person, and translate that into your marketing copy, and specifically like written word. So, a lot of people, so we'll break it down from there. The problems that I see that business owners really have when it comes to putting together compelling marketing copy is that there's a couple different groups of people and their problems kind of filter out from there. For people who are just getting started, we're seeing a lot more people moving into the marketplace who want more freedom, like you and me, Leslie. They want more flexibility over their time. They want more flexibility over their earning potential. And they want to be with their families more than a lot of traditional workplaces allow, especially us as women. And so for that group of people, the people that I would consider like newer in business, the main thing that trips them up is understanding that it's not talking about your coaching certification or your training or, your trainings or certifications. And it's really about learning to speak the language of results for people in the marketplace. And so it's a really very, as I consider it, like a very basic, simple market, like understanding the language of marketing, which is about results, which is about benefits, not features. So quick example of the distinction, and this is important, you guys, between what a feature is versus what a benefit is. A lot of people come out of coaching programs with a certification and it's like, okay, I'm going to coach you with 3 30-minute calls a month. Mm-hmm. And so when it comes to writing about that, they'll say you'll get 3 30-minute calls. Well, no one cares. Because they don't know what that 30-minute call will do for them. So talking about the thing is a feature of your offer. And then talking about what that thing does for people is a benefit. So the simplest point of entry for people that are new in business, that's a real learning journey, is understanding language of marketing. And add to that a lot of negative associations with the practice of marketing. Because, we live in a world that since the 1920s, since the World Wars, I would say, we've gotten more saturated in marketing and advertising copy. And if you watch the conversation of how that's evolved, it often isn't a very respectful or dignified conversation. That's where my clams get steamed. Is, the way that marketing, like there's some great marketing and advertising out there. And there's some stuff that treats buyers and customers like idiots, like drooling idiots who can't solve their own problems or solve their own way out of a paper bag.
Yeah.
And we can talk more about that, but I'm already kind of getting ticked off as I'm just acknowledging this phenomenon, right? And so then we go to like the group of people who are a little bit further on in business. They understand the standard language of marketing. They know that they're supposed to speak to results, not to features. They know, like, they're in the right neighborhood or the right ballpark about what their work does for people. But what often happens with that, people that are a couple years into their business, is that they've been taught how to market in a way that offends their soul or their humanity.
Yeah.
And I just got tingles of truth. I work with a lot of like people that have like body knowing and body wisdom, a lot of empaths. A lot of us are teachers, healers. We come to the work that we do through a certain like calling. And so it's not about making a quick buck off of people. Like at this point, I don't work with anyone that's just looking to like make money off of strangers on the internet. They're really looking to dang you, Leslie Hassler. I was trying to keep it under wraps, and here I am outing myself. The people that I work with want to call other people forth to a better version of their lives at some level. And so if you have that sort of orientation to your work, you can't use what I call fast food marketing to do it. It's unethical. It offends your soul and your sense of like your sensibility and your style, and it won't work for you.
Right.
So a lot of coaches, a lot of healers, a lot of teachers are doing the things they're quote unquote supposed to be doing, or their marketing teachers and mentors taught them. And, I bow with gratitude to the people that first teach us how to do marketing, because that first phase is when we're getting started, we just have to put ourselves on the map and learn the language of results and just keep it stinking simple. But then there comes a point when you're doing good work with people and you're really starting to help them, create better lives for themselves, whether it's in their sex lives or their money lives or their health lives or their relationship lives, whatever it is, their relationship with their kiddos. There comes a point when you're like, this workhorse of marketing language that I first used to get started and to connect with people isn't cutting the mustard anymore.
Yeah.
And that's when I feel like many of us feel called to express more of ourselves through our marketing. And that's when people say, "Ooh, Stella, I just want to find my voice." Or they're drawn to me because they see that I'm just talking like you and I are talking.
Right.
And they feel a camaraderie or a sense of kinship with me. Resonance is another word that we talk a lot about with my people that I collaborate and work with. And so they feel that and they're like, "I want to know how you do that. I want to do that with my people." And so that's the second problem. And the third problem I see, a lot of people come to work with me where they have an established business practice. There's two more actually. They have an established business practice offline, people that have worked for 15, 20 years in their field of expertise. And they're seeing that there's a lot of energy and a lot of opportunity online. And that specific slice of the puzzle is like, you know how to be with people when you're with them in person. And a lot of people are public speakers and already getting after it and have a great pathway to clients set up when they're working with people and like speaking in front of a room. But then when they go online, they're like, "What the heck is this?" Like, it's almost like we're back at square one again, learning how to speak English. And it's not English, it's like the language of results again. And we're back to that first group of people that are like, how do I talk to other human beings while still being like, a steward and a servant, someone who leads people to better lives? How do I maintain my integrity and market my business when I don't have my charisma or how I am when I'm with, like, how do I build rapport with people through writing? It's like a stranger in a strange land. And there's one more group and I'm almost forgetting them. Who are they? Oh, these are the rock stars. So there's a bunch of people online who are actually crushing it online. These are, you guys are out there too. There's fewer of them, but they teach marketing. They know how the game is played. They actually know what moves the needle. They're very good at copywriting, but there's a disconnect. They don't feel something has happened that they don't feel in integrity anymore, or they really like have discovered something about who they are and they want to work it into their message. We see this a lot with people that are doing something sort of, I see this a lot with people that are doing something sort of, how to say it? They're kicking butt and taking names online, but suddenly they realize that a lot of the work they've been doing is super intuitive. And they have this like coming out, right? They've got it. They feel called and they feel this sense of discomfort because they feel like they're hiding a part of themselves from their audience. And they're people of integrity. They're leaders, like they're visionaries. And they can just feel that they're out of alignment at this point. It's for many of these folks, it's physically uncomfortable for them. And it's not necessarily this big urgent thing, but they can feel that they're emerging and there's more that needs to be said that they're not saying. And how do you align the past message that they've had with what's coming through them and feels alive for them right now? And I mean, I've got examples for all of that, but I also want to make sure that we get to more of it. So those are the challenges that I primarily work with people on. Yeah. It just really depends on where you are in your own journey. And, because you can't skip steps. You can't skip steps. So I don't want to have like just one specific, like, this is how I work with people. It's like all of these 4 groups of people have different messaging and marketing issues and challenges. Yeah. And then my job is to be like, all right, well, have you noticed this? Well, what happens when we try this? Like, and to do it in a conversational way, to talk with people about what's going on so that they can get some insights and then test it out in their own marketing and see how it works for them.
So I want to bring up a couple of points here because, when it comes to being successful in business, it's the hard skill, the numbers, the results, and things like that, and then there's the soft skill of how you do it. And I think we're talking a little bit, and I know just from my end, I know anytime I'm working with a client, we're not getting the right clients in, and we're getting clients that are just really in some dire straits, or people that are really, really dire straits and can't even afford to invest in themselves. If that's not something that will support your business, it's a message that has to happen. And I think, like you said, it's a little bit of learning how to market, a little bit of learning the skill sets, knowing what to communicate. But it's also, I know for me, I say this all the time, I'm like, it drives me nuts that this industry sells on scarcity and preaches on abundance, and that to me is incongruent. So I know, and I've always had that struggle. It doesn't feel good to me. Like if you did that to me, I would go, "Who the hell are you? You know, you don't even. I don't even want you in my life because that's not who I like to surround myself with." So there's a lot of people. I think if you've got this marketing frustration and you feel like you're like just a ball of milk when it comes to this, there's a lot of that we're going to talk about that helps with that conversation and how to give you the training that's very in integrity with what you have. Because like you said, I tell people all the time, there's 300 different strategies for your business. They're all wrong. They all work.
Yeah.
But you have to be congruent with them. You have to have an alignment with them for them to work for you. And that's what we're talking about with the message and everything. We started talking about fast food marketing. Talk a little bit about what that is and maybe give us a couple of examples of how that's portrayed in the market.
Got it. All right, so I'll preface this conversation by saying I eat fast food, you guys. Like I'm a kale smoothie kind of gal, and I care about eating vegetables. I love vegetables so much, but this is not poo-pooing fast food. Like I'm about to go on a road trip, I will eat like an egg sandwich from a fast food joint. Like it'll be delicious. When I say fast food marketing, what I'm talking about, what it has in common with fast food is that it's cheap, fast, and easy. And it's sold on this idea of convenience. The other thing I've noticed about fast food marketing is that it positions the problem as you, reader, have this problem. Or you know, I'm going to talk in terms of marketing copy because I'm talking about like stuff on the web. And even if it's video, it's written. There's a script somewhere. But so it assumes that the viewer or the reader has a problem, which is good. Like that's strong marketing habit. You need to understand what the problem is to be able to talk to people about it and say you position your work as the thing that solves the problem. My beef, pun fully intended, with fast food marketing is that it promotes this idea that the solution is this magical solution that's cheap, fast, and easy. And because I work with people that are typically helping other people improve their lives, that's really not how reality works. And we've all had breakthrough moments, right? Where you've been doing something and suddenly the heavens part and you feel this opening or this new possibility kind of come down or come through you. But typically you've been gestating or working towards that or letting go of some things. You've been doing some work, whether external or internal or both, to bring forth, like to prepare the ground for that breakthrough. And so my problem with fast food marketing is it's selling people a untrue version of how change and transformation and results actually works. That you can buy someone's crappy info product for $17 and it will change your life. Like that premise that gets set up in what I would call fast food marketing, that premise is false. And so, you know, we can talk about what the alternative is, but like it's for many of us, like that's freaking good news because we've been taught, especially when you're taught to market online, many of the marketing teachers and where the conversation has been is, you know, touch their pain, talk about their problem, and agitate that pain that they're having because of that problem so that you connect with people so that they want whatever your offer is so that they buy it from you. And not only, as you pointed out, Leslie, like for many of us, that feels bad in our bodies. And it's not, what was your word that you said? Congruent. It's not congruent with the actual work that we're doing with our clients or with our deepest desires for how we want people to mature and be in the world, right? You know, my thing about fast food marketing is it actually pokes at people's natural inadequacies and insecurities about being human. And I think, you know, there was a time when in a marketing or advertising context, that may have been okay, or that might have been kind of how things were done. But I think in this moment in 2016, many of us are rejecting that and saying, I don't want to do it like that.
Right.
And I'm coming forth to give that voice, which still on some days kind of makes me go, really? I'm the one. And I'm just kind of, coming out with it myself. Like, I've been doing this sort of work for years, but finally I'm turning around and teaching it to people and being like, well, this is how I'm writing. Like, I've written $100,000 marketing campaigns for myself and other people. And, like, people have made a lot of money with the emails and the sales pages that I've written for them. And sometimes I have used fast food marketing to do it. But what I'm getting, the more I go on my own journey as an entrepreneur and as a teacher, I'm like, yeah, you don't need to do that. So some of my campaigns that have grossed more than 6 figures in revenue have not run on poking people's fear or inadequacy at all. No fast food, because I was like, yeah, I'm just going to see if this works.
Well, I've been to a couple of things, and I think what drives me nuts if I'm like even in a meeting, because I work primarily with women entrepreneurs, is we'll get into this space where everyone needs to feel safe, or like it's okay, or it's almost like I have to be walking wounded in order to be a woman entrepreneur. I was like, you know what? I don't know a whole lot of walking wounded women entrepreneurs. And it's kind of, I think that whole part of really focusing on what's lacking or trying to agitate the pain that just makes me want to kind of go, can I leave now?
Yeah.
Because this is not who I want to be or how I want to grow my business or help other people grow their business.
Or treat other people. That's what I come back to, is like, why would I treat people like that? Like, there's no one in my like regular day-to-day life. Like, I never speak to people like that.
Yeah.
And so why would I suddenly show up as someone that touches their pain or tells them there's only 4 spots left when there's actually 25, just because that's how quote unquote marketing is done? It's like, and it took me a while. Like, when I started, I didn't know if that was possible. And that's my message now as someone who has a healthy, profitable, successful business. Like, I have grown more confident. I have seen a lot of, I've been on this is going to sound dirty, but I've been on the back ends of a lot of people's businesses. Yeah. So I know what it looks like, and I know like how people are doing sales wise, and I write those sales emails and marketing campaigns. I work with people that are doing very well for themselves. And so, there are some psychological techniques from a marketing or persuasion standpoint that you need to use, but there's a way to do it in your own voice that's totally aligned with your deepest values, and you do not have to compromise those values for it to sell or for you to be a successful marketer. That's what I want people to know.
Well, and I want to talk about gourmet, but I have to tell people, if you're listening now, I will let you know this is a transition, because even Stella has seen some of the stuff I've been transitioning on, and I'm like, crap, I fell back into the habit. And it's almost like I imagine like trying to keep smoking or something like that, where you pick up the cigarette and you take a drag or whatever, and I'm like, damn it to hell, I did it again. And it is a process, because I know like a lot of people in business, I've been in business for 9 years as an entrepreneur. I have a degree in journalism. I did agency side marketing and online and traditional worlds. It's really hard to undo, 17 years of habits, but that's okay. We're working on it. I want to get into gourmet marketing, because that's the second piece of this message. And then I want to make sure we have time for this epic story, which is really what we've been talking about. But I had to lead people. I needed to lead a horse to water with this, because it is such a different way of looking at marketing, and you need to have the building blocks to do it. And even Stella, in your journey on doing this is almost customizing your journey into getting into this one story concept and the epic story. But let's talk about gourmet marketing, because we've really been shifting on what we don't want to do, what we don't want to have, why we don't like it. But talk a little bit about gourmet marketing, if you like to coin it, and what that is and what that feels like for people.
Yeah. So again, we're kind of using a metaphor about food, which is a loaded concept as Americans, right? So I understand. I haven't found a better metaphor yet. So bear with me. It's not perfect, but it tends to get a really juicy conversation started. So if that's what fast food is promising cheap, fast, and easy, and is also promoting this rather fictional version of how change and transformation works. The thing that you need to know is that that sort of message that often gets taught when we're in conversations about how to be a successful marketer, how to market your business online. It's kind of the standard at this point.
It is.
And that tends to attract people that have a certain mindset, which I would call a fast food mindset. And I'm not judging those people. However, I do not want to work with those people. And so my message is one of get clear about who you want to attract in your business. And so when you're just starting out, you're like, I don't even know. Like, I just want some money coming in the door. Totally makes sense. I was like that too. But there does come a point in your business journey where you say, I'm noticing that I'm attracting people, and this was the tire kicker moniker. There's people that don't want to pay you your rates, or maybe you've just raised your rates and they're asking for discounts, or they're asking for you to make an exception, or they're asking for more work or more service from you than they actually want to pay you for. To me, that's a mentality of like fast food. Like, I want to get something that I'm not willing to give a fair exchange for. It's this get sort of thing. And for many people that come to work with me, they're in this situation where the way that they're writing, and it's absolutely right what you're saying, Leslie, like, this takes time to like digest and to metabolize and like to actually be able to know how to consistently market in this way. But what often happens is you market the way that you've been trained in this fast food way, and then you start noticing, say, that the people that are showing up for sales conversations, they're like, oh yeah, sounds great. And then you tell them what your rates are, or you invite them to work with you and they're like, I don't have the money. Or, and they give you this like story about how they can't have what they want. Or you, as the business owner or the coach, needs to discount your rates so that they can have access to your services because they want you to somehow like feel sorry for them. And I'm not saying this to show that I am not compassionate or that I'm judging those people, but I do want to say that because this is happening every day to so many business owners that I work with. And I don't want you, and maybe it's happening to you right now. Maybe that's why you're here. And what I want you to know is you've got to take responsibility for the fact that you may be transmitting your message on this fast food channel, and like attracts like. So if you're promising people that your solution is cheap, fast, quick, and easy, you are going to connect and resonate and attract people into your business who are looking for the bargain basement thing. And much like fast food, there's going to be some, I want something for nothing, or I value consistency, or I don't really care who's making my burger. I just want to feel full at the end of it. Like, I am suggesting that, you guys, like I want those images to populate in your mind. And so when we talk about what gourmet is, I'm not necessarily saying more expensive. There's a lot of talk online about selling high-end coaching packages or high-level mentorships or VIP days. Maybe that's your dream and your desire, but maybe you, like me, and I know like you, Leslie, we're more driven by like, we want to have it as we want it, and we want to work with people who really value what we can do with and for them. And for me, I love collaboration. Like, one of my core values is collaboration. So I am very particular about who I let in to work with me privately, because I'm an empath. I pick up on other people's energy. I have a lot of energy to give. And so I'm protective. Over the years, I've had to learn how to protect my energy from people that just want to take. They have that fast food mentality. Now, a gourmet mentality, gourmet clients understand that it's not something for nothing. That they are 100% responsible for their results. They are looking for an experience instead of just to fill their bellies in the fastest, cheapest way that they know how. And they're willing to work for it. They're willing to work for their results. They value the lives of the people that are making their food or whatever it is you're in the business of doing. And they really want to have this connection. They're thinking on a more holistic level of like, okay, is the person who's making my grass-fed burger or my portobello mushroom burger, is that person being paid a living wage? Where did that mushroom come from? Where did that beef for the burger come from? was that animal treated humanely, or was it from a feedlot? Like, and you'll notice, like, if we are going to talk about the fast food, the gourmet metaphor, like when you go to a restaurant, do they tell you where their meat is sourced from? You know, and you pay more for that, and you expect to pay more for that because that's a value that you share with that organization or with that restaurant. And so when it comes to marketing, what I'm suggesting is, if you want to attract people into your business that treat you well, that treat you to your own high standards for how you want to be treated, that for those of you who have been in business for years offline, you're getting in the online space, if you want to attract people online who are the same high quality person and client for you that you already receive through word of mouth and referral, you've got to learn how to do this gourmet messaging thing. And that I mean, we can feel free to like guide me on this. I can get specific, but you know.
Well, there's a couple of things I was thinking about, because there's in your comments you were talking about a couple of things like the discounting. I've never been one to discount a brand new client coming in, but I might reward an existing client for your business. You know, there's a difference of concept there. But I also think there's a point in time where somebody else said this, and I've adopted it. I love it. It said, you know, really in business, I'm not a missionary, but I am a woman. And if I have a healthy business that is profitable, that I'm working for clients, when I find that one person that I connect with, that I'm like, I can help you, and I know you can afford it, and I'm going to help you. I also have the freedom to do that. When I have built my business to be profitable, to have good clients that don't mind paying, but I also have the concept of you have to be the type of client you want. So, for instance, before I went and visited a friend who runs a restaurant that was supposed to have, you know, might have had a different opportunity today that not rescheduled. But I haven't had lunch with her. I didn't ask for a comp meal because that's not what I would want everybody else to do, is come sit down with me and ask for that free advice or something. I paid for it. I'm echoing. I actually think it's Stella's volume. Do you mind turning me down just a little, Stella? I think I'm coming through with you. Oh, there it goes. So it's a case of really where, you know, you have to be this client that you want to be, that you want to attract as well, but you got to do it through your marketing as well. Because I had that stage maybe a year ago where I had 30 conversations with people who they didn't make enough in a month to afford my services. And the last thing I was going to do was pressure them into spending money, pressure them into putting it on credit. I wouldn't tell my clients to do that. So why would I do that to encourage somebody to use my services? It was out of integrity. So I like that we kind of are talking about that. But I think the other thing about this gourmet marketing is it just feels good. You know, it is, like you said, talking to people like you talk to your best friend. And if you do believe everybody, you know, one of the things I believe is you have all the opportunity to grow you actually need right in front of you. It's just you haven't been trained to see it. And that's one of the things I do, is I just help you see it and then use it. You know, but it's not like I have a magic wand that, you know, I come in. I would love a magic wand. If you invent one, bring it to me. And I got some stuff to do. You know, it's that same kind of concept there. So the gourmet marketing is about making people feel that it is possible, that they can do it. They just need some guidance, and that's okay if you need that guidance. And that kind of leads us to the epic story just a little bit, because that's really exciting. So Stella did hold a private workshop. Would you say more of a private workshop for?
Yes, just for my clients. Yep.
Yeah, where we really did get to dive deep into this concept of the epic stories. So I want to, if we can, I know, 90 seconds, the framework and where you've leveraged this process and the potential.
Well, only for you, Leslie Hassler. Just so everyone listening knows, after I did this event, I did it just for my clients who are ready for this mojo. So I have to preface this, that this is like, I don't plan on teaching this publicly because it's not something that you can quite, I'll give you it at a high level what it is in 90 seconds, but it's something like Leslie was speaking on, it's something that emerges or unfolds for people. And I actually want to be with people as like, and have a community of people that are all unfolding this thing together, so that you actually increase your likelihood of being able to implement it and get it. And that's not like a sales pitchy thing, like, oh, you've got to join my community. Like, I'll tell you the information, but I also have this belief that it's really hard to implement something like this by yourself. So
the analogy I would give is like, if you're practicing yoga, you have to go.
We'll say it again.
If you're into yoga and you're practicing yoga, right, you have to start with the up dog, the down dog, before you can really get into some of the advanced maneuvers. And that's a little bit what we've been talking about.
Yeah. And thank you. I appreciate that. Because what I'd say is, like, I think it's helpful to have the distinction between fast food and gourmet marketing. But if you're newer in business, I get a lot of people that are just starting out that are like, oh, Stella, I'm writing fast food copy. And I'm like, I don't care. And don't worry about this. This is like 2 steps ahead of where you need to focus. As I know, Leslie, you and I share a similar perspective about this. Like, don't worry, don't mess around with online stuff. Go talk to people. Go give talks. So what I'm about to share with you guys is a little bit, it's more advanced, and it's not going to be clear. This does not immediately translate to more clients and more income in your bank account. So it's interesting, and I am not positioning this as, oh yeah, this will totally get you clients, because it will down the line. But when you're starting, it's not the fastest thing. Okay. Is that clear enough?
I know.
That's my disclaimer.
As somebody that experienced it and is on board with it, it is not the fastest thing. Okay. Even if you looked at my marketing right now, you still see we've got a lot of the old stuff going on, because we're trying to feel our way into it. It's much more of a feeling your way into it, which, is a little.
Wait, what's the face? Are you feeling your way into this?
I am definitely feeling my way into it. And, I was posting, we have a little group, and I was posting a postcard, and I was like, I'm saying like 6 times, and that even shares the final version of it, because I had to really balance a lot of different things that you're trying to do with your marketing. So it is definitely a process, but I think really what I want to do is just open some time. It's awareness stuff. It's the into that path of change.
Awesome. Thank you for that frame. So the intention of sharing this with y'all is to open your minds a little bit. And for me, I would add plant a seed.
Yeah.
This is not it can be immediately actionable, and just keep doing what you're doing that's working for you marketing wise, and just let this kind of percolate in the back of your mind as you go. Okay. So that's enough buildup. What we're talking about is, so in this distinction between fast food marketing and gourmet marketing, one thing that I've noticed about the fast food style of marketing is that it tells a story of the world, which is, I, as the business owner, am the one that can save your butt. So if you have the problem and I'm selling, copywriting services, I'm going to be like, oh yeah, you've got this pain, you're struggling, you're overwhelmed, blah, 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 blah. Work with me. I'll solve that problem. And to me, that is a fictitious tale that's made up that we're telling people, which is, you've got the problem, I have the magical solution, and I'll sell it to you. And so the way that when I think about this, I envision like a light switch or some sort of switch. So it's on and off. And so this fast food marketing style is telling people a story of problem and solution, which is, you have a problem, buy my thing, the switch goes off. Like, your problem ends and you've got the magic solution, and game over.
You're here.
Yeah. And this can work, you guys. But for those of us that are like, you know what, that's actually not my experience of being alive or being a human, and I can't be ethical or congruent and actually talk to people like that because it makes me feel bad in my system, then we need to look for something else. So, gourmet marketing doesn't talk about, like, in contrast, gourmet marketing says, okay, it's not about you have a problem, I have the magical solution, the switch is off and then it's on, game over. It's that you figure out what the story is in your business around the hero's journey. And this is where it's hard to do in 90 minutes, but we're going for it. I want to impress Leslie. So for those of you who are familiar with the hero's journey, this is based in the work of a mythologist by the name of Joseph Campbell. If you're intrigued by this, look it up. He's all over the internet. He wrote a book called The Hero with 1,000 Faces. And basically what Joseph Campbell did, he's no longer with us, but he went out into the woods. He had a cabin. He went out into the woods in a cabin. I think this was probably in the 1950s. And he read a bunch of religious and cultural myths from all around the world. And he made the discovery that they're all telling the same one story. It gets more interesting. The story that they're telling, whether it's, in Hinduism, the Bhagavad Gita, whether it's Moses in the burning bush in Christianity, maybe it's, Homer, like the Homeric, the Iliad and the Odyssey. All of these stories are all of these whatever the tradition, whatever the religion, whatever the culture, they're talking about the hero's journey. And the hero's journey, and there's all sorts of people retelling this, but the hero's journey is basically when a hero leaves her zone of comfort to pursue what she wants, things start to get uncomfortable.
Amazing how that works.
Right. Things start to get uncomfortable, and all of a sudden she finds herself on the road of trials. She meets tests. She meets tribulations. She meets with enemies. And then she enters, the grand battle where she has to face down the monster that has been the biggest monster that she's ever had to face in her entire life. And she slays the monster. And I'm doing this very quickly, you guys, and there's a bunch of writing on this. I'm not the only one doing it in marketing, but as far as I know, I'm the only one doing it in marketing in the online space right now. So awesome. Facing down the monster, slaying the monster, getting the treasure from the monster, and then returning home to the village where she came from to share the treasure with other people. I first read this book when I was in my 20s, so nearly, 20 years ago, friends. And this story changed how I look at my life. Because what I realized, it was like it took the top of my head off. What I realized is this is my story of my own life. And I would submit it's the story of Leslie's life and the story of your life. And that's what we did when we were in Cincinnati when I hosted this event called One Story for my clients, is I taught this concept to them. And in a room of 35 people, I watched the light bulbs go off atop all their heads. And they were like, oh my gosh. And then this is my story. Yeah. And then there were some people in the room that they said, into that whole conversation, they raised their hand and said, I don't feel like I'm on a hero's journey. I don't look at my life like a hero. And we talked about that.
Yeah.
And so what happens is it's actually not about us. It's not about our lives as heroes. What happens when you market from this place is that you do not position yourself as the coach or teacher or healer as the grand savior of your clients or your students, which is what one of my problems is with fast food marketing. You honor the journey and the adventure that your audience or your clients or your students are on. And you simply say, I am an ally along your journey, and I'm going to help you face that road of trials, face those enemies, face down the dragon, get the treasure, and return home. Here's what you can expect from every stop along that journey. And then as you tell them their own story back to themselves, and hint, hint, it's your story too for many of us.
Exactly.
People start to recognize, oh, that is my story. And then what you've done, and I just think it's one of the greatest things that we can do for other human beings, is you've helped them internalize that they are a hero in their own journey. And then they look at their lives in a different way. So again, one of the things that I don't like about fast food marketing is it creates this culture of codependency, that we're always looking outside ourselves to solve problems, and we always have to buy something to solve a problem. And to me, that's a false premise. And I also don't think it helps humanity. It doesn't help society. Whereas if we speak to the people through our marketing as if they are heroes on their own journey, we give them their power back, and we resume our rightful place as not better than anyone else, but as someone who's maybe been a few steps down the hero's journey further than the people we're speaking to. And that can give them, some tools or some tricks or some insights to help smooth their path. I say this as a former high school teacher. I have a master's in teaching from the University of Washington, and I used to teach naughty boys and girls in alternative school. They were my favorite. I loved the wiggling ninth grader boys who could not sit still. And that's a story for another day. But, I forgot my point. Oh, we can't walk the journey for other people.
No.
And a lot of people come out of me fresh out of coaching school and they say, oh, Stella, I want to empower women.
Oh, and Stella's frozen for us. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to jump in here while
and
Stella's
I'm like, you
Wi-Fi catches up.
Another woman.
Almost. I know Cash Crunch Games is having a lot of fun on the sidelines over here too. And Stella is a masterful storyteller, if you haven't noticed by now. But there's a lot that you can see, and I know when Stella's Wi-Fi gets back on, she'll jump right back in here. But I mean, me listening to this again, it kind of really resonated with me a month and a half ago. But you can start to see that you don't have to be everyone's savior. You don't have to have the answer to it all, and it's okay. If somebody has to transition, past you, or I'm getting a message from Stella, so let me just give her a second to come back on. But when you realize that you're just helping people along the journey, it just feels so much. It feels good for me. I don't know about you. I know I'm going to unlock the seat so Stella can come back in. But I know Cash Crunch Games, you're talking in here. You mean I don't have to fix everyone's personal finance in one step? No, you don't have to fix it. And the honest truth is, you can't force it onto somebody. You can't make somebody fix the problems that you have. You can only really truly provide the way, the path, the tools for somebody to do that, and you can be their guide while they're on this journey. But I know only because Cash Crunch has been on here a couple times, and I've learned about his business as we've gone along. Personal finance teaching to teens. Well, really, it's the parent who's your hero in some ways. The student is the hero, but in a lot of ways, as a parent, it's a hero to me if I teach my children fiscal responsibility, and maybe they're in a better financial position than I ever could have been, because I see the power that has on somebody's life, especially down the road when it comes to things. So I hope you can start to see how you can really take this hero concept, or even just the epic story, and mull with it and put it on. But like Stella was saying, the reason why she's saying it's her journey, it's my journey, it's because for a lot of people that are in the service industry, you've had a journey. You've had some sort of awakening. You've had something that has pulled you into doing what you want to do. And a lot of times, just the hard side of business and marketing, that's the best way that you can attract other people, is people that are going through that same journey. So you do have to share your story, because people connect through stories. We are hardwired to listen to stories. I mean, I know, Cash Crunch Games was commenting on, he's on the edge of the seat out there when Stella was talking with us. And that's it exactly. That's what stories do for us. And I love this concept and bringing it to you so that you can see that you can build this into your business. And it's actually one of the best ways to not have competition, because there's only one you that does what you do, does the voodoo that you do so well. And you really have to stand on that line. So yes, Stella, I see that you're in the room, but it's not allowing you to come on like it did before. I think that just means we were doing some really great stuff here. And Stella knows that I mess up technology. I'm a technology interrupter. So if it's good, that means the technology is going to kind of go crazy on us. But that's okay. Thanks for hanging in here, guys. I know we've got several people out there. Just want to give a couple of shout outs. I know Cash Crunch Games, hi Stella, has been here having a good time. We've had the Tech Buzz pop in and out, Hillary J. Steele, Soul Broadcasting. It seems like Soul Broadcasting had maybe a death in the family or so our heart goes out to you and the healing that you'll have to do around that. But Stella is back. So come on in. Pick you up. I was trying to carry your ball for you.
Oh, good.
You do it some more eloquently.
Sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened. I think my internet pooped out, but that happens sometimes when I get spirited.
I know, me too. Like I said, I disrupt technology. Crash Crunch Games thinks that's pretty funny that I do that. But
I love
it's not Blab that messes up. It's me. It's just.
Yep, this happens. It reminds us to be human and go with the flow. We're not in total control.
Mm-mm. So I know we've joined on, we've shared a lot. We're kind of wrapping up to the end of our time. I feel like we probably could talk about this for days. I haven't had a chance to ask our audience if you do have any questions. If you want to let us know what those questions are, be happy to take a few. We have just a few minutes. But Stella, you have a free gift that we're going to share with people. And I kind of, it's one of your writing guides, correct? Can you tell us a little bit about the ebook? And I'll put the link up for everybody if they'd like it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, oops, I just lost you. Okay, here I am. I'm now getting nervous. As I mentioned at the top of the call, I write with business owners. So the way that I believe we get this message stuff nailed is by actually writing about it. I also know that many of you as business owners have an enormous amount of writing to do, and that it's not always fun or pleasurable. And you're like, this stinks, or there's frustration or what have you. And so I have put together 9 of my top writing tricks, ideas, and tools that I have already tested. They've been field tested on my clients and students, so we know that they work. And I've batched them all together for you. It's called 9 More Ways to Make Writing Easier, More Profitable, and Sound More Like the Real You. And it's simple. It's like a 13-page PDF. And it's just some things to keep in mind to help you stay on message, and also keep in mind this distinction between fast food marketing and gourmet marketing, that it doesn't have to be fast food for it to actually bring you great clients. In fact, it won't work if it's fast food. It won't work to bring you great gourmet clients. So you can check that out. And I think you just shared the link.
Yeah, and Cash Crunch Games is saying he's having a hard time with it. So I'm going to go over here and just double check it real quick.
Cool.
And yeah, it's telling me the same thing. It worked this morning. Do you have a direct link for it?
Well, it should be stellaorange.com/9. It might not need a HTTPS at the beginning.
Oh, that may be it.
So okay. I would put stellaorange.com/9, then the word more, then Leslie. And let me see if I can add that to your.
Yeah, you should be able to. Let me see. I think that was my fault because I put the HTTP.
Oh yeah, and take the HTTP. I think maybe in Blab it automatically adds the HTTP.
Oh yeah, that might be it. Yeah.
So I would say don't put the HTTP : / Just leave that off and just type in stellaorange.com, the number 9, the word more / Leslie, and that'll take you right to it.
Oh, I got it too without the HTTP.
Awesome.
So there you go. Okay, because I know Cash Crunch Games wants to get out there and get that, so hopefully that works for you. You know, I do, just to honor your time, and thank you for being here. Like I said, we kind of covered a lot of ground, and I know I made you stay really high with it, but I hope if you're listening to this, you're really getting a sense of a different way to market, you know, a way that I think is more about taking us into the future. Honoring the people that we serve, still being a profitable business while doing it and doing great work, which is really what feeds the soul in the business. And that's an important part of business that we need to keep in touch with, is doing things and doing it in a way that feeds our soul, that's authentic to us, because that's really what small business is all about. We're not mega corporations here. My goal isn't really not to ever be a Fortune 100 or Fortune 500 or on the ink list or anything like that. That's not what I'm going out there. So Stella, thank you for joining us. I know we did chat about a lot of things, but I'm wondering if there's, you know, anything else you feel a little compelled to share before we get off the air.
Be gentle with yourselves as you go. It's easy, and I think that sometimes this idea gets perpetuated that there is an instant overnight fix, or that you're doing it wrong. And one of the things that I really appreciate about your message, Leslie, is that you remind people that they're not doing it wrong. They just might need to focus on the one thing that they need to be doing for their marketing to work, and let go of a lot of the extra stuff. I always think, when I think of you, you're talking about this one thing that you need to be working on to start getting, you know, bigger results and bigger response to whatever your marketing is. And so to that, I would say, yes, Leslie knows what she's talking about when it comes to just the one thing, and that there, you know, are literally hundreds of ways to market your business. But the main thing is finding the way that works for you and your natural talents and your natural things that you like to do. And to that, I would say, just be gentle with yourself along that journey. You know, it's easy to look at someone like Leslie or me and be like, oh, they got it all figured out, and I have no idea what I'm talking about. And to that, we both go, ha, you know,
Yeah, right.
I can guarantee you I've got dozens of stories, and I'm going to bet that you do as well, Leslie, about how you just had to, I just had to try something.
Yeah.
And even if it wasn't the right way to market or the right way, every time I put myself out there to ask for business or be more visible, I learned one thing that helped me move to the next, you know, the next lesson that I needed to learn. So I encourage you to just be kind as you're on that path and on that journey, and just know that as fabulous as Leslie and I are, like, we have walked a journey as well, and it's not instant overnight stuff. So just remember that, please.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Stella, for being here, and thank you for that shout out. And it is really about one thing. You know, that's kind of, I guess, the power or the secret behind being able to double your business, is it doesn't take you doing 10 things. You know, it really, really doesn't. You just need to do what you do very well, and, you know, deeply, and, you know, focusedly and determinedly. And that's what generates results in a business. So like I say, I never talk about these long lost secrets from the Mayan temples. I'm talking about really good business sense that we tend to forget about. So if you want to know a little bit more about me, you can find that out at yourbizrules.com/the marketing quick fix. And that little quick fix is really meant to help you find that one thing that could shift your marketing, could shift your business, so that you can have the freedom to do more, the freedom to grow, the freedom to go on vacation. My God, people go on vacation. And go from there. So thank you so much to Stella. We'll be back here in 2 weeks. We are no show for Memorial Day because I believe in holidays.
Woohoo, me too.
And I will be recovering from Jimmy Buffett concerts. So that's just the way it's going to be.
So fun.
Not going to be here for that, but we will be back the next Friday, and I think the 7th, maybe, of June, the 7th or 8th of June, I think that is.
6th. If it's a Monday, it's the 6th.
Monday the 6th. I don't have my calendar up. But we're going to be talking all about what they didn't teach you in business school, in B school. And I think that's a really interesting conversation. So join us then. Thanks to Stella. You can catch us on iTunes or replays at yourbizrules.com. Thanks so much, guys. Have a beautiful week.
Keep up the good work.
Bye.
Bye.